Welcome back to another NHL edition of our DFS breakdown here at Fantasy Sports Insight. We are going to have a 3-game slate today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below, and we will hop right into the slate. So we do have another slate back with Colorado, which will obviously provide some chalky Nathan MacKinnon. Just looking at the odds here, we have the Flyers and the Islanders. Oh, those are series, sorry. The Flyers are minus 120 with an over-under of 5. The Bruins and Tampa Bay will be playing on a back-to-back. The Bruins minus 115. Tampa Bay won in overtime yesterday. And then Colorado and Dallas. Colorado a minus 140 favorite. Now, remember, you don't really have to take into consideration the home and away part of these matchups. So let's get into it. All right. At the center position, I will be locking in Nathan MacKinnon. He's just been unreal in the playoffs. 28.5, 37, 42 are his last 3 games, 8 shots on goal, 6 shots on goal, 6 shots on goal. He's just insane. So he's going to play a ton of ice time. I like him in every facet here. Next will be Bergeron at 7,200. Kind of laid an egg in the last game because that top line did not correlate with one of their with a goal. But I think you can definitely go back to the well with Bergeron. Now with Boston and Colorado being on the slate where we really like to correlate both of their top lines, I think I prefer the Colorado correlation. I think just MacKinnon alone is playing so well that I think it's warranted. So for other center options, we have Sagan, Braden Point has been playing pretty decent in the playoffs, but I don't really like targeting against the Bruins. Kadri has been playing really well, obviously. Not too big of games the last 2, but every time I hop off of him, that's when he's scored his 2-goal game. So he is definitely in play. Joe Pavelski, Brock Nelson, Charlie Coyle, 3,800, has been seeing some decent ice time, and I do like him as a value at 3,800 as your second center. Other than that, we get down into you're really punting with like Cizikas, who actually plays a decent amount of ice time at 2,600. Basically, you just don't want him to get you 0, which I think it's pretty likely that he would get on the stat sheet somehow. Same with someone like Nate Thompson. Again, doesn't play. It doesn't really have upside, but likely wouldn't get you 0 just because he's on the PK, which allows him to get some block shots. Other than that, center is pretty gross after MacKinnon and Bergeron, but you'll probably have to find some value there. At the winger position, we have Kucherov and Pastrnak, and I always lean Pastrnak just because he has a shot floor, usually 4 to 5 shots a game. Again, though, you will likely be deciding between using someone like Pastrnak or Ratinen. It's going to be pretty tough to use MacKinnon, Pastrnak, and Ratinen. But you could use I think you can fit in if you did MacKinnon, Landeskog, and Pastrnak. So if you didn't want to go full line for Colorado, Landeskog is cheap enough that you could still make something like this work. And even if we had somebody like Charlie Coyle in, you're at 4.76 per player, but I do think there's some other viable value down here. Blake Coleman has been playing out of his mind. I really like him at 4,200. Tyler Johnson's viable. Brassard has been in, but also has been scratched recently. Same with Abu Kubel has played recently. Some of these guys you just are basically going to be hoping they're on the ice. Janmark has got an okay floor for 2,900. Where's Como? He should be on here. He's somebody that is always okay. Yeah, he's dead minimum 2,500. He's probably actually my favorite 2,500 or less, or the dead min play. Not that he's a lock, but if you're trying to jam in all the studs, that's going to leave you with a lot more breathing room, assuming you play somebody like Carter Hart. 4.3 left per player. Again, you don't need to use Pastrnak. You could go full correlation with Ratinen, but I do like Pastrnak. At the defender position, Miro Heiskanen has been one of the best defenders in the playoffs, so I really like him at 5,700, along with Victor Hedman. Cale Makar is obviously going to be just a world-class defenseman as he gets older, but we are not really seeing the upside as much with him right now. For 6,000, I would rather be paying for somebody like Giordano or John Carlson or an actually elite defender. Pulak just continues to get the shots on goal and block shots. He's had a block shot bonus in, it looks like, 4 of the last 5 games. The upside is not immense, but I think he is a nice cash play. John Klingberg did come back down to earth a little bit, and we did see him not play as many minutes last game when they got down by so much. But he has definitely been good throughout the playoffs. But I do prefer Miro Heiskanen to John Klingberg. I do really like Charlie McAvoy. He's just been playing so much on the ice time, and the block shots are really coming in. So normally in this season, he hasn't had that type of floor, but in the postseason, he has. So Sergachev, 3,700. Didn't do all that well last game. I thought he'd do better, but the time on ice has been up the last 2 games with McDonough out. That also leads me, if McDonough stays out, to someone like Shattenkirk, who has had an assist, has had a point in the last 4 games, but in the 2 games against Boston, he's had an assist. So 3,000 for Shattenkirk is really nice. Moving down, I always find myself going to someone like Nick Leddy, 3,100. He's not going to put up a goose egg. He's going to block some shots or get some shots on goal. So 3,100, he's another viable punt defender. Let's see if we have anybody else that's really sticking out. Grzelcyk is okay. Olisiak had a goal in the last game. He's been playing a ton of ice time. So just in these 3 defenders that I just mentioned, Shattenkirk, Olisiak, even Boyachuk, if he's playing, and Leddy, you can easily just punt at defender. And say you use Olisiak and Shattenkirk, and then now we go back to using Pastrnak. You might even be able to fit in. You can even fit in Ratinen, actually. If I go, and again, this is just playing around with the lineup here just to see if it even realistically works. See, so you can make it work and then go Coyle at the end. And obviously, you don't need to use Carter Hart, but he has been one of my favorite options in the playoffs. So at goalie, Carter Hart's my favorite. I don't mind using Varlamov or whoever starts for the Islanders as a discount because it is going to be a low-scoring game. We saw Varlamov with a shutout in the last game. Likely Frank Hughes will start for Colorado as Grubauer is out. I'm not really targeting any of the goalies in the Boston and Tampa Bay series just because it's low shot volume style of play. But I do like I said, Carter Hart probably 1, Varlamov or whoever starts for the Islanders 2, and then probably Frank Hughes 3 would be my order of preference of goalie. So hopefully this helps you build and start your lineups for today. This slate does start at 2 o'clock. But if you want to, it's really easy just to cross out the Islanders and the Philadelphia game and also play the classic slate with basically the player pool that I just went over in this video. So hopefully you all can find some nice builds and find your way to some cash today. If you are wanting some premium core plays for the showdowns and for the main slates, be free to check us out at fsidfs.com and get that VIP subscription where you get access to all of our premium content in one shot. All right, thanks.